This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Wednesday, June 9. In Squiz Kids today, Australia's first titanosaur, China's wandering elephants, tennis champ Dylan Olcott does it again, and settle in for State of Origin. That's what's making news, kids style.
The lowdown.
Australia has its very own titanosaur, with the news yesterday that dinosaur bones found in outback Queensland 15 years ago belong to a never-before-seen member of the titanosaur family, the Australotitan cooperensis. Now, because that's a really long and complicated scientific name, and because the remains of this dinosaur, which walked the Earth 95 million years ago, were found near Cooper's Creek in Queensland, he's also known as Cooper, which is what we'll call him. When Cooper was alive, he measured the same length as a basketball court and stood about the same height as a semi-trailer truck. So, pretty big. It's thought that he was the biggest animal to ever walk the outback, and it's the first time a dinosaur belonging to the titanosaur family has been found in Australia. Previously, their remains were only ever found in South America. Cooper was a herbivore, which means he only ate plants and not meat. But it's thought there may have been even bigger dinosaurs that preyed on Cooper and his kind. Which is to say there might be evidence under the sun-baked earth of outback Queensland of a larger meat-eating dinosaur. Doesn't it just make you want to go and become a paleontologist, who is someone who pieces together fossils for a living? There's a link in today's episode notes to cool photos and video of Cooper. Just quickly in other news, if you found yourself adding an extra layer of clothing this morning or cranking the heater up, that's because the polar blast is upon us, with large swathes of southern Australia experiencing freezing temperatures. Snow is expected to fall on the Blue Mountains west of Sydney, and there's even the tantalising prospect of southern Queensland getting a light dusting of snow too. That noise you hear? It's my teeth chattering.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in China, where a herd of wandering elephants have captivated the entire country. Yesterday there were photos of the elephant herd, including 2 baby elephants, also known as calves, having a well-earned lie down in a forest outside the Chinese city of Kunming, after having been on a cross-country trek that's taken more than 15 months and covered more than 500 kilometres. The herd of wild Asian elephants have been social media stars in China since they started their long walk, even though no one has a clue where they are headed or why they are on such an epic walk. A team of park rangers are monitoring the elephants' every move and doing their best to keep the elephants away from towns and cities. And yes, of course, there's a link to photos of the pachyderms, which is the scientific name for elephants, in today's episode notes.
Sport time.
For some people, 13 is an unlucky number. But not for Aussie tennis ace Dylan Olcott, who yesterday claimed his 3rd French Open title and took to 13 the number of tennis Grand Slams he has won in his career. Is there no stopping him? Dylan won the men's quad wheelchair singles final at the Roland Garros Stadium in Paris yesterday for the 3rd time in a row, beating his longtime rival Dutchman Sam Schroeder 6-4, 6-2. What an effort. And in other sporting news, all eyes will be on Townsville tonight as the city hosts its very first State of Origin match. It's a footy-mad part of the country, home of the Cowboys and Jonathan Thurston, and where maroon is worn as far as the eye can see. But even so, when Blues winger Josh Addo-Carr and his Indigenous teammate Latrell Mitchell paid a visit to Cowboy's house in Townsville yesterday to meet some of the 100 Indigenous kids who live and go to school there, they were still welcomed as heroes. Even when Addo-Carr, one of the fastest men in the game, beat the kids in a running race. Check out the video in today's episode notes.
My lockdown life.
Who doesn't love a birthday? Cake, presents, delicious dinners with family, parties with friends. But what if your birthday happens during lockdown? Well, there are plenty of kids in Melbourne experiencing just that this week. As you probably know by now, we're producing a special segment this week called My Lockdown Life, and have asked the kids of Melbourne 5 questions, including what's the best and worst part of their day and what they miss most about school. Today, we have a sneak peek of our full episode, which will air on Friday, featuring 2 of Melbourne's lockdown birthday kids. Let's have a listen.
Today's my birthday, so woohoo! Yeah, I'm really excited because I turned 12 today. What I miss the most about school would probably be teachers, friends who are in a different class that I can't really see during online learning, but particularly specialist classes like art and PE, because they're just not really the same in online learning.
I can't kick the footy in a big oval because you can't kick it on the roof because there is no roof. So that's why I really want to go back to school.
Happy birthday for yesterday, Eloise, and happy 7th birthday today, Hamish. Here's hoping all your footy dreams come true soon. Don't forget, if you're in Melbourne and you want to share your lockdown life, simply record yourself answering the 5 questions in today's episode notes and send the audio file to squizkids@thesquiz.com.au and be listening all week to see if you've been featured. Oh, and yes, there'll be a prize for the best answers.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. The remains of what sort of dinosaur have been found in outback Queensland? That's right, it's a titanosaur. Question number 2. A herd of which animal is in the middle of a great big trek across China? Yeah, it's a herd of elephants. Question number 3. Name the Aussie tennis ace who's just won his 3rd straight French Open. Yeah, it's Dylan Olcott.
Shout outs.
It's June 9, State of Origin Day, of course, but also National Donald Duck Day in the United States. What else? The Disney favourite made his cartoon debut on this day in 1934. So how about that? And as a treat, I've stuck a link to the very cartoon in today's episode notes. Let's put it this way, it's no Pixar film, and animation has definitely come a long way. It's also a special day for these Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday today. Travis from Fadden, Sophie from Aberfoyle Park, Emily from North Nowra, Pippa from Kempsey, Matilda from Buninyong, Freya from Eltham, and Hamish from Nunawading. And some belated birthday shout-outs go to Lockie from Moorabbin, Eloise from Kirrawee, Finn from North Kellyville, and Gemma from Bondi. And today's classroom shout-outs go to all the Year 4 students at Good Shepherd Primary School in Canberra, Mrs. Thornton and Mrs. Wheatley's Year 3 class at Our Lady Queen of Peace in Greystanes, Class 3 GK from Morningside State School, and Mrs. Stewart and Class 5 6 CS at Como West Public School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout-out, or if you're after a classroom shout-out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids. We'll be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out. Squiz Kids is proudly supported by the Judith Neilson Institute for Journalism and Ideas.
Squiz Kids! It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.